Joined by my pack, TalkTV contributor and lawyer Paula Rhone-Adrien, the political journalist Amy Santina, and TalkTV's international editor Isabel Oakeshott. Three women with wonderfully long titles. Welcome to you. Couldn't think of a better panel for this debate, actually. So, is feminism harmful? Is the headline in The Guardian and various other places today. Boys and men from Generation Z are more likely than older baby boomers to believe that feminism has done more harm than good. 1 in 6 British men aged 16 to 29 say that feminism has done more harm than good. Isabel?
I feel like I'm probably going to be on my own with this one. Look, feminism, I think, achieved incredible, marvellous things, but now I think it has probably gone too far, and we're veering into the realms of too much victim culture at a time when actually most of the ideals of feminism have been achieved. And feminism shouldn't be at the expense of masculinity. And what we've now got in response to radical feminism is toxic masculinity.
Do you know how I know feminism has worked, by the way? Is that if we had 3 blokes sitting here debating this, there'd be all hell breaking loose, right? We'd probably all be fired. Where are the women, right? No one is saying that because there are 3 women.
Right, well, there you go.
You're presenting the show, aren't you?
That's fine.
And you're a man, as far as I remember.
Are you sitting there as a lesser mortal?
No, but look, I'm just saying, you are presenting the show, and so that's why there is...
We have plenty of female presenters at this channel.
That's why there is an upset that there are 3 women on your panel.
What do you think about this? See, here's my theory about why people like Andrew Tate have got such traction with young men. They all feel a little bit put upon.
Yes,
right.
They feel like it's now a new culture. It's gone. The pendulum's gone too far, and that a lot of bad guys got done in with rightly by Me Too and Time's Up. But actually, this culture developed where all men are awful until they can prove otherwise, and young guys are like, gee, what do I do?
Right. Okay. It is hard to be a young man at the moment. There is enormous pressure on young men, but that's not because of feminism. Women have not caused that pressure to be put on young men. We've got a huge issue.
I don't agree. I think a lot of radical feminists.
So what do you think has caused it?
What are you talking about?
Radical feminists exist. I know you find this hard to believe.
But what are radical feminists? We've been on here
man-hating women who lead a charge to hate men. They do exist, these people.
I mean, come on. How many of those do you really know? And you cannot say me.
I'm conscious that I don't want to interrupt my fellow
So feel free.
But look, radical feminists exist, radical, you have toxic masculinity, and we know that we still need feminism because we have people like yourself in these great positions who will go on to X and say, for example, that our female footballers were over-emotional in the finals of the Women's World Cup.
Who said that? I didn't say that.
I think you'll find
over-emotional.
I think you'll find you did.
Why, were they all blubbing?
And so I
didn't say over-emotional. What I said was that one of the lionesses...
I think that was the quote.
No, I said one of the lionesses shouldn't have won the BBC Sportsman of the Year this year. One of them won it last year when they won something. This year they got one for losing. I didn't get it.
I'll send you across the article.
Well, here's my truth about emoting. By the way, I don't like it when male footballers emote too much. I don't like the blubbing culture. Full stop. I'm a stiff upper lip guy, and I know it's gone out of fashion. I know I'm not allowed to be, but I like a stiff upper lip. I like the old way. I like the old Pathé news footage with people going, go, pull, get a grip, and
we've got
pull yourself together.
Male suicide rate. We've got the male suicide rate.
Exactly.
No, I know it's a totally separate thing, which I take very seriously.
And it's the
has
same
nothing
with
to do with the
feminism.
blubbing culture.
It's the same with feminism, and I worry that this feminism and the definition of feminism has been overtaken in the same way that the definition of woke has been overtaken. Feminism is about the striving for equal rights, and that strive is by men and women. It's not about hating women. I agree with Isabel. Hating men, forgive me. I agree with Isabel.
Having won so much fairness and equality quite rightly, and I applaud that, the moment the transgender lobby come along and want to erode those rights, you two... that's fine. That's fine. We'll give them all back. We'll give them all back. Isabel.
Ava, I want to know, because you did acknowledge that it's extraordinarily hard to be a young man now. So what do you put that down to, if it isn't radical feminism?
I would say a lot. I mean, if you look at some of the reports that are created by right-wing think tanks, a lot of that to do with the struggles of young men is to do with finance and it's to do with the economy. So you'll have poor white young men who are in areas who are defunded and they're not being offered mental health treatment, they're not being offered good teachers, they're not being offered, you know, good finance in good economy in their schools.
Generation Z, we're talking about 16 and above, is my understanding. And we are, and I agree with Ava, we are in a world now where we're expecting these 16-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 21-year-olds to go into a place of work where work no longer pays. We are in a generation where we are...
Why they're distressed.
Of course it is. When you have a situation where you have a young male who is looking around and trying to understand, do I go into crime? Do I become a drug dealer? Do I become an X, Y, or Z? Or do I sit back in my chair and say, well, I can't do the job I want to do because of her. I can't do the job I want to do because of an immigrant. I can't do the job I want to do because of wokeism, whatever that means.
I don't think this has got anything to do with what we're talking about.
You know, blaming feminism.
It's bang on because the whole thing.
Because young men, here. Young men off. I have
young men are upset because they're not.
I'm going to trump you both on this. I have a teenage son, and he's pretty interested, or certainly was before he got himself into so much trouble, in Andrew Tate. Like a lot of young men are, and it's
what did Andrew Tate do?
It's nothing to do with them not worrying about
the problems with young men on young women when it was nothing to do with young women. Look, you know, young men used to have a social contract. They would go to school, they would go to university, and then they would be able to get a job that provided for their family. The economy now doesn't offer them that opportunity, and they are angry about it, and they're rightly angry.
They're also being told all day long, all men are awful. Prove otherwise.
By who? Andrew Tate?
By radical feminists.
By men. Men are saying that this is where this message comes from. Whereas we know
if women just stopped hating men a little bit, it would be really helpful to the self-esteem of young men.
If we started treating each other equally, then perhaps there wouldn't be this problem.
You know what? Got to leave it there. And I can't leave it there because I'm a man and I'm in charge of this show. So thank you, ladies.